Adiola ABA. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube. Today I will be sharing with you this amazing technique for writing essays. Essentially decided to call it storyboarding your essays. It was a technique shared with me by my lecturer as something that he was taught by nuns. So like, it's actually pretty fun because you get post-it notes, you get pens, you get colors, you know, you go wild, and it just makes it really easy, and it means that eventually your essay writes itself once you've gotten through the whole process. So yeah, join me and let's go. So also, just to remind you, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and just, you know, I'm trying to grow this community, so I'd love it if you would like tell me things in the comments about what you thought was good in this video, what you thought could be improved, and yeah, just, you know, let's do this. Let's grow this little community, let's grow this movement. I am excited and I am ready. So off we go. So, storyboarding your essay. It's an interesting process. How do you start? What do you need at the beginning? Post-its or index cards. You need pens. You preferably use different colored pens like felt tips, markers, gel pens, whatever. And like a large piece of paper. I used A4 paper, which was fine, but I used 3 of them. So, you know, you need a good supply of like plain paper, and then you need your index cards or your post-it notes to get started. So the thing is, what happens in everyday conversation is, because of how our thoughts are organized and how we rely on our memory, it tends to be like not always that structured. And if you decide to write your essay kind of in this way, then it's just going to be disorganized. So really, this storyboarding technique is a way to get things really organized. It is great, it's amazing, it's actually really fun because you're writing on post-it notes and you've got all these different colors, like you've got loads of different colors involved, you've got like your ideas, like, so you essentially put one idea on each post-it note or index card. And when you do that, it's really fun, like it's just really creative. You know, I think it's part of it because it's tactile, so because you have that option to move things around, and it just really helps you to really get that great flow for your essay. So what you do is you start with your essay question and you just kind of look at it and maybe write down the ideas that come to you. You know, write down all the things that you think you're going to need to include. Write down the ideas, the concepts, just write them all down on different post-it notes. Hey guys, just jumping in to say I recorded some footage of me using the storyboarding technique, and you'll see it throughout this video. Okay, so I've officially got my rough outline of how I'm going to structure my essay. I've got my introduction, I've got my session summary. That you can start to kind of see how different ideas could like come together. What doing all of that has allowed me to do is essentially get really clear on what it is I am including in my essay, and also I need to be brief, I need to be concise, I need to make sure I'm making my points. My next step now is to go away and break down each post-it note. So get my evidence, get my quotations, get my citations, get whatever I need to pull in, theory, because you have to bring in theory to build your argument, and then structure it. So I make my point, I bring in the evidence, I bring in the theory, the citations from, you know, accredited or reputable sources, and then I use that to drive forward my argument. And yeah, and then once I've gotten all this planning out of the way, it's literally going to be so simple. Just feeling so buzzed, I'm feeling so hyped, I'm literally excited to write this essay. Guys, I'm going in on the planning so that the writing is easy. Hi, I am back to it with this essay. Currently my storyboard looks like this, which is quite crazy, I know, but I am getting into it. I'm breaking down each point now. So yeah, That's all. Right now I'm going to start looking for theory. So I'll start with silence. I'm going to just take them and break each of them down. Yeah? Having written down all your ideas and all the things that you want to include, and definitely always
Have your marking schematic nearby.
so you have an idea of what they're looking for in your essay. You know, just kind of organize your ideas and thoughts, and you know, you can kind of like see it in front of you. And when you can see all the ideas that you want to include in your essay, you have the option to be like, oh, you know what, this is not necessary, I'm gonna cut it. You know what, I need to build up on this, or I've got a lot of notes on this point, but this side is kind of looking a bit lean. So it kind of gives you a real visual way of seeing where you've got too much information and where your kind of things are a bit sparse. So it gives you, so the reason this is such a useful technique is it means your essay is balanced, and the flow of it, you can arrange it so that it reads well. So basically, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my introduction and my conclusion till last, and I'm going to get started on my body. Then once you've done all that, okay guys, my almost completed essay. Yep. There's no conclusion and there's no introduction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 paragraphs. So yeah. Once you've arranged all your main body paragraphs, then you get into the introduction and the conclusion. So what I'm actually going to do is read all the post-it notes, like in order, as if it's the essay, out loud. And then reading it all out loud, I can't talk. Reading it all out loud will give me some idea as to what my content is, what's inside it, what I've covered. And then from there, I can just get my introduction together and also my conclusion. Because obviously I know what I wrote, but I don't know what I wrote, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there's that. Oh, okay. I actually feel really excited, like living on the edge. Am I gonna get this in on time? So yeah, I'll let you know if I do. So the introduction is essentially where you look at what you've included in your main paragraphs and you briefly introduce them. So you know, if you introduction basically you just look at it makes it easy basically. Whatever you have in your main paragraphs, whatever topics or points you make in the body, just bring them in your introduction. In this essay, you know, depending on whether it's an essay where you're speaking in the first voice and the third voice, that's very important as well actually. You need to know whether you're writing this essay in the first voice, I, me, or in the third voice. Many would say that this idea is really important and blah, 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 blah. So if you're writing in the first essay, you might start off something like, you know, I'm going to explore XYZ topics in this essay. I will talk about A, B, C, D, and all to answer the question of the essay question. You know, something along those lines. And in the conclusion, what you essentially do is, it's almost the same thing. You just say, in this essay, I have covered X, Y, and Z, or A, B, and C. And, you know, and also you kind of, you bring it to a conclusion. So, you know, in this essay, you know, I've discovered A, B, and C, or I've explored A, B, and C. And, you know, when it comes to the question of whatever the essay question is, you know, one might, you know, you might say, oh, you know, there's still more room to be explored, or there's still much that needs to be explored, or, you know, there's a leaning towards this idea or that idea. I'm getting my post-its in order. So I've got post-it notes on, so I was saying before, I broke down each post-it note, each section I identified as an introduction, body, chapters, or body paragraphs of my, the main bulk of my essay, and of course a conclusion. So I'm 4 paragraphs in essentially, and I've made my points, I've got my evidence, I've got my quotations. I'm also trying to incorporate quotes from my session. So I've got this little, I'm not going to show you faces, but that's me over there, that's me. And just really I'm watching it over and over again, picking out things and just taking it part by part, and it's being really effective because obviously I'm a bit pressed for time now. If I submit it tomorrow, I'll have like a 5% automatic doc from what I've submitted. So I really want to put myself in the best position and get it submitted today. So yeah, so I'm going to continue, but I just really wanted you to really feel like you're part of the process and really understand what it is that I'm doing here so that you can take it away and use this same model for yourself. We're getting there, and yeah, this is gonna happen. All right, off to type this up. Guys. So yeah, I really love this essay writing technique. It's amazing. I am using it for all my classes this term. When I used it this term, I actually got a first with the essay, and I just feel like it's an amazing technique, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope you make the most of it. Cheers! Let me know if this was useful for you, if you enjoyed this video, what you'd like to see more of, and I will see you soon. Much love to you. Take care. And bye. Have a lovely day, morning, night, afternoon, evening. Bye. Okay. Yeah, so I have submitted my essay. It's in. The turn it in wheel has turned. The similarity report has been, what's that thing? Collated. Okay. Also, I didn't really do much talking about the whole essay process, but I want you to understand how, like, this is not even all of them, but all of this post-its and planning, there were so many post-it notes, so many. They kept flying about, and they did not want to sit down, and they were working against me. I'm telling you guys, they were working. No, they weren't. We were friends. So we were close. We were close. But yeah, as in there were. Look, wee. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. I want to do it again. What?